This is the Money Hour with your host, Tina Mitchell, on Alternative Talk, AM 1150. Now, back to the show with local mortgage and finance expert, Tina Mitchell.
Welcome back to the Money Hour with your host and mortgage expert, Tina Mitchell, right here on 1150 AM KKNW, the Saturday, November 22nd show. It's a great day to talk money. That's why I'm here with you, and that's what the show is all about, how to make money, save money, and build a better quality of life for you and your family. If you're hearing my show at a different time or day, you're listening to a rebroadcast to talk with myself or any of the guests that I have in studio today, please pick up the phone, give the show a call, 1-855-400-1150. Again, that's 1-855-400-1150 or online at themoneyhour.com. And in studio right now, Charles Poteet with North Central Home Inspections. A home inspector is a person you need, different than an appraisal who determines the value of the home and really works for the lender. The inspector determines today's conditions of the home, and even more important, or as important, what is your home's future? What is coming up in the future and the cost with that home? Charles, thank you so much for joining me in studio. Just very excited to have a conversation with you today.
Thank you. It's very nice being here with you.
Wonderful. So a little background about Charles. Charles came to Washington from Oklahoma when he was 12 years old. And after high school, he worked with his dad for many years, where he learned all about construction. He came from a large family. So having a large family has been very important to him. His wife, which I actually have Judy in studio, she's here in studio with us, but we're just talking with Charles. But since we're mentioning the wife, it's great to have her here. And for his wife, he's been married for 48 years and tried retirement for a short time, but realized that retirement is overrated. Charles believes in hard work, integrity, and honesty, and he's been to South America 3 times on construction projects. And so, Charles, it's exciting to have you here. And you talk about overrated for retirement. I know that. I'm a little younger than my husband. He's 8 years older than I am. So you guys, listeners, you can kind of figure that out. But he's at early retirement age, and he decided, you know what, it's a little overrated. He enjoys working.
You're exactly right. I certainly do.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and start out. Charles, what interested you in getting involved in the home inspection arena?
Well, first of all, realizing the fact that I was looking at retirement, and I thought, you know what, I'm not really ready for this. So I've, in my career in construction, I was looking to diversify. And I thought, you know what, after praying about it for a good long time and having the Lord open the doors and close the doors accordingly, I went to the option of saying, hey, you know what? Home inspection looks like it could go right along with my construction career. And that's exactly why I diversified and went into that. Yeah,
and that's a really good point, because I think it's a huge benefit to come from the construction background, because that just plays right into to home inspectors. So that might be something you want to ask when you're looking at hiring a home inspector, to see what their background is, because that has a big play in how well they're going to be able to do their inspection job. So can you tell me a little bit about your work history, Charles?
Yes, I've been a general contractor for a good long time, probably 30 plus years. And I've been, beside that, I've done a lot of different diversification in my construction. I've done a lot of commercial projects, as well as a tremendous amount of custom remodeling and new home building. So indeed, it does give me an edge on home inspecting.
Sure.
And that I can identify those red flags that a lot of times that are out there, that a lot of people say, you know what, it looks like that's really something that's that we really don't want to buy this home, but I can help them identify that. Just look at the problem and say, hey, you know what? It may look like really big to you, but I can show you how you can fix that really easily.
Yeah, and that's why a good inspector, I always say, if you want to know something good about the home, go talk to the listing agent that's representing the seller. Your inspector is going to be honest of what the history of that home, where it's been and where it's going. And I think a good inspector really is going to be able to give you an idea. And just as you said, Charles, I mean, that thing may sound really, really bad, that it takes 2 pages to explain that one item, but the reality of it's a $500 item, not a $10,000 item. So let's talk about the cost, Charles, of a home inspection and any discounts that they can be expecting from an inspector, or how do you do your pricing?
Yes, I certainly know what the market is, and I don't want to be the lowball on that, but I don't want to be way overpriced either. And I feel very good if I went into a home inspection and done the very best I can. And the fact is, I indeed do discount my prices, and I get a lot of work, but I also earn my money.
Yeah, so what are they looking at an average, Charles, that you're going to spend for a home inspection?
Well, actually, what it depends on is the amount of square footage that home is.
Okay.
And denoting that is there's break points that I use, like start out at 1,000 square foot home. That would be anywhere from 250 to 300.
Okay.
And breaks at 1,500 to 350 to 4. And from there, it goes on up.
Got it. And, if you're a seller listening to the show, a lot of times people think that an inspection is for a buyer. It really is for a seller as well. I highly encourage as a seller to get a home inspection so you can have an idea of what that home has to offer and what issues are. You can get them fixed. Because let me tell you, when you're in a negotiating process over an inspection, you're going to end up paying a lot more for those items when you've already got an offer accepted. Whereas if you just deal with those up front. So I really encourage that. And if you're a current homeowner not thinking of selling, it's a good idea to go home inspection to find out where your house is at and what you can do in that pre-maintenance. Would you agree, Charles? I
certainly do. As a matter of fact, I call those, and it's called PreInspection. And myself, with all my career experience in construction, I can identify the red flags and show them how that they can be fixed and give them an idea what it really should cost.
Yes.
So, because as is known today, a lot of, especially seniors, and a lot of people are getting scammed by, just like you said.
Yeah.
They'll go in and it costs them a lot more to get that done before they can sell their home.
Yes.
And so they should know what rule of thumb to follow or what it should actually cost.
Of course.
Close to it.
So if you're just tuning in right now, where I'm talking with Charles with which is a home inspector, and if you're a buyer thinking of purchasing a home, if you're a seller thinking of selling a home, or you're a current owner that hasn't had an inspection in a few years, pick up the phone, give the show a call at 1-855-400-1150. Again, that's 1-855-400-1150, and you can talk directly with Charles, an expert in this arena. So, Charles, if I have someone that's listening right now that could use your services, again, a potential buyer, seller, current homeowner, how far are you willing to travel for inspections?
Okay, that's a really good question. And because I'm independent in my industry, I can pretty well set my own times. So I'm willing to travel out a little further. Actually, I'm licensed to go, of course, anywhere in the state of Washington.
Okay.
But I try to keep in a logical sense, staying within 150 to 200 miles out would be pretty much the maximum.
Okay.
And I pretty much cover all the north end where I'm at now, Lake Stevens, Arlington, Marysville, Everett, Stanwood, and all those general areas.
Perfect. Now, sometimes with the home inspection, that's a basic inspection, but there's a lot of other things, pest inspection and things like that. So do you do a pest inspection, and how does that enhance and change the business?
Yes, that's a very good question, and the answer is yes, I do. A lot of home inspectors are not licensed pest inspectors, but the real estate people that I deal with, that really helps, because to be a pest inspector, I don't eradicate the pest, but I can identify what they call the WDOs, wood destroying organisms, and I can give them ideas of who to talk to get that taken care of.
Sure. Now, Charles, I know yourself invested in the senior community. I have a passion for it. Janet, our next guest that we're going to talk to you about long-term health care. So what are you seeing and doing with the senior community when it comes to your line of work in home inspections?
Thank you very much. One of the things that you'll understand about me is I have a love for seniors, and I always have had. I've always respected the elderly. I've always looked up to them. listened to them and given them my time and learned a lot from them. And because of that, I want to represent them the best way that I can and helping them to make an informed decision by doing, like we talked about, a pre-inspection.
Okay.
And then going a second mile of actually saying what things should cost and that kind of thing. It really helps.
So is there a requirement, Charles, or advice that you have for our seniors listening in the transition solutions?
Okay, yes. Thank you very much. I'm really excited about the very fact that we do have a program. It's called Senior Solutions Transition. And it is that. The reason I'm excited about it is because it's a program that's a pilot program here in this area, and it is that it's going to spread to other states. But we have a chance to be on the very, very cutting edge getting started. Our CEO, Kathy, has got a lot of stuff in place, done a lot of research, and there's been a lot of detailed things behind the scenes that's been done. And so as this is being launched, and I know our next guest will probably say something about this too, but I just wanted to say that I'm excited. I'm a member of that. And I know that with the background checks and everything that we have to go through, it's really a very unique program.
That's awesome, Charles. I thank you so much for spending time with me in studio and sharing your information with my listeners. And again, if you're listening to the show, we're wrapping up this segment talking about home inspections, and there's just a lot of information, a lot of things to know about this arena. But in the amount of short period of time that we have in studio with my guests, it kind of leaves you hanging a little bit. But that's okay. That's why you can call into the show at 1-855-400-1150. Again, it's 1-855-400-1150, and I will directly connect you with Charles that can answer any of the questions that you have regarding home inspections. Charles, thank you so much for coming into studio and joining me. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much. It's certainly my pleasure.
Coming up next in the Money Hour, long-term care is a big topic, and how you're planning for it. How are you planning for it? You need to stay here. Janet Greeling with Genworth Financial right here on 1150 AM KKNW after the short break.